Good evening, everyone, and welcome to race number three of the 2026, I should say, IACT Winter Warm Up Series presented by GossCars.com. I am Nick Mumley, and alongside me in our virtual broadcast booth, the one and only Michael Stridesberg. And Michael, tonight it is the Throwback 200 presented by Fast One Motorsports.
Indeed, longest race of the year on the GossCars.com IACT series at the new virtual North Wilkesboro Speedway post paving job. We got a lot of cool throwback schemes. We got a lot of competitive cars, and we'll have 200 laps in tonight's main event. But first, some qualifying action to set the starting field.
Absolutely. This is the modern era of North Wilkesboro Speedway. So this is after all the renovations. We've raced at the old version of this track in the past before, but never at this new version with all the renovations, the repave, all of that. It's a complete showpiece. And where else is there a better racetrack to run a throwback race at? Uh, so much history here at North Wilkesboro, and they've done a great job preserving that history. But here we go. Heat number one is on the grid and ready to line up.
Indeed, first of four scheduled qualifying heats, each will take the top five to the Throwback 200 presented by Fast One Motorsports on the pole. That is the 13 of Bob Eldred going to lead them to the grid alongside Cooper Bouchard, late model and Tiger winner at Thunder on the 7. Then in row 2, we have Nate Wenzel in car number 03, and throwing it back to his former driver Scott Dragon, car number 70, that is Brock Rouse.
On the inside of row number three is going to be Justin Prescott and the number 18 Hardy's Throwback. Nice looking car there from Days of Thunder. And Randy Cole Jr. to his outside. 6 cars make up heat race number one. This race will be 10 laps in distance, and the top 5 will qualify into the 200 lap feature here later on tonight. So just one car will go to the B feature from this race. 22 drivers will make the starting field for tonight's race when it's all said and done. Michael, the lights are off on the iRacing pace car. They're coming down the backstretch here, and we are getting ready to go green for the first time here tonight.
Indeed, we are. I'll note that Jake Roy had been scheduled to start sixth in this heat race, but unfortunately did not make the call, dropped out during practice, and has not unfortunately returned. But the remaining 6 are ready to put on a show for 10 laps in heat number 1. Green flag is out, and it's Eldred and Bouchard take the green.
And Eldred gets the jump into turn number 1. Cooper Bouchard in the Greg Biffle throwback style automobile, sliding back all the way to third, possibly fourth now. Prescott underneath him. He puts the pressure on. He takes the spot, and here comes Brock Rouse trying to move Bouchard even further back. Bouchard slides up the racetrack and hits the wall off of turn number 4.
Bouchard with a big wiggle kisses the concrete, and he is hanging on by his fingernails now. Along the outside of Brock Rouse, as we take a look on the screen at our third place machine, the 18 of Justin Prescott. He dirt tracks it trying to run down Nate Wenzel. Top 3 are breaking away, and behind him the race is on for the 4th and 5th spots to transfer into the main event.
Bob Eldred in the gray and black 13 leads the way. Nate Wenzel, the former New Hampshire state champion in the 03. He sits in second, drawing a little bit closer, but it's still a car length gap back to the 03 of Wenzel. And then a couple car lengths further back, that's where you'll find Justin Prescott, the Days of Thunder throwback, the Hardy's 18. He sits in third. And now we see the battle starting to heat up a little bit for fourth, but everybody staying relatively calm here with everybody, all but one car transferring to the main event.
Oh, we got contact right as you say that, Nick, but the 70 of Rouse able to hang on. Him and Bouchard get together. Bouchard scoots away in fourth, and now it's the 55 Randy Cole Jr. and the 70 of Brock Rouse going wheel to wheel for the final transfer spot as we hit halfway.
Halfway home in heat number one. The battle for the lead starting to heat up, but the battle for the transfer spot has already heated up. Brock Rouse outside, car number 70. Randy Cole Jr. inside, car number 55. Rouse settling the outside lane, making it work a little bit. He now clears Cole by a car length, as they go back for turn number 1. Here's the battle for the lead. Wenzel has opened it up just a little bit. He is right to the back bumper of Bob Eldred in the 13. Eldred runs to the top side, and Wenzel dives underneath. They head for turn 1, side by side.
Bob Eldred, the sim racing ace, as we take a look inside the cockpit, doing his best to hold off the New Hampshire state champion, Nate Wenzel, as they are coming to 2 laps to go, 2 to go in heat number 1. You're not missing anything for the transfer spot. In fact, Rouse is pulling away from Randy Cole Jr., so we'll keep the attention right here in the cockpit with Wenzel as he looks to the inside one more time on Eldred.
Well, these two fight it out for the lead. Justin Prescott has entered the fray. Prescott now right to the back bumper as they go side by side in turn number 1. This is the final lap of heat number 1, and they might be 3 wide. Prescott's going to make a move for it, but Eldred takes the advantage on the top. One last opportunity at it. Eldred covers the bottom. Side by side fight for second. It's going to be Eldred, then Wenzel, then Prescott. They're top 3 in heat number 1.
Final 2 cars transferring into the main event, the 7 of Cooper Bouchard and the 70 of Brock Rouse. Brock Rouse sending a message to Bouchard after the race is over. Steady, boys, you're both in the main event. It is... Oh, excuse me, Nick. Was just blank there for a second, but Heat 2 is getting on the track as, again, it's Bob Eldred picking up the win, the unofficial pull for the main event, and 10 points towards the Goss Cars IACT Championship. Heat number 2, another 10 laps to put 5 more names on the board for the Throwback 200 presented by Fast One Motorsports. Nick, let's meet the starting field.
On the pole, a podium finisher from last week at Thompson, Kyler Davis in the Mind Warp number 1 will start from P1. To his outside, from the kids division over at White Mountain, sporting the Casey Kane throwback this week, that is Cam Beatty. Starting third is going to be Jake Grout in the Cody Chevrolet number 49. That's a throwback to his father, Chris. And Mike McCaskill on the outside. That's a throwback, but he runs it full time at number 3, McCaskill Custom Carpentry Machine.
The 52, that is Brad Bushy, going to start 5th in this one. And riding shotgun in the Wayne Hellowell Jr. throwback, and really arguably a present-day car since the team still runs that scheme to this day. That is Kyle Goodboo in the 17 New Hampshire. You'll see his brother JJ a little long. One car did not make the call for this one. 48 Taylor Hoare was scheduled to start 4th, but will not be on the grid for heat number 2. As Nick, we're getting ready to go racing.
Beatty on the outside. Kyler Davis inside. The pace car down on pit road. They make their way around. You see the restart zone. Green flag waves. Heat number 2 is underway from North Wilkesboro.
Door to door, they head through turn 1. The 1 of Kyler Davis trying to live up to his car number. The 9, though, of Beatty hanging tough. They're 3 deep behind him. The 17 of Kyle Goodboo shoots the gap into a transfer spot.
Remember, only only 5 out of the 6 cars in this heat race will transfer on to the feature. Mike McCaskill caught the wall big time and has now got a big gap to make up as Brad Bushy pulls away. Bushy now holding the final transfer spot while the battle for 3rd starts to heat up. Kyle Goodboo inside, Cam Beatty outside.
You saw the 9 of Beatty kiss the wall, and now they lean on each other in 1 and 2. A little physical already in this one as they fight for the 3rd spot. Brad Bushy, the 52, looking for his insurance, but Beatty slams the door on him in 3 and 4.
An aggressive move from Cam Beatty there. Now, trying the outside is going to be Bushy. He goes up the track, and Beatty blocks him there, too. Bushy now dirt tracks it down out of turn 2 towards the back straightaway. And Beatty making that number 9 car very wide through the corners here as they fight for position number 4. Whoever gets the worst of this battle is going to be the one on the bubble. With Mike McCaskill making up a little bit of ground back there, I think it's beneficial to try to advance your position there if you can, if you're Brad Bushy.
Coming to halfway in this one, we'll keep one eye on this fight for 4th with the 52 of Bush to the outside, and another eye on the battle for the lead, the 49 Jake Grout, all over the rear deck lid of the 1 Kyler Davis. Davis trying to hold on, back up a podium finish last week with a strong qualifying effort. He came from dead last week. Doesn't want to have to do that again, but he has got his hands full with the 49 Jake Grout and the 17 of Good Boo is closing in.
49 of Grout all over Kyler Davis's back bumper, trying to make something happen there. He's going to take a look to the outside. Nothing going. He might try to diamond the exit here a little bit. No, he lets it stick on the outside. Hits the wall a little bit. That's going to be advantage Kyler Davis as they head back for turn 1 and 2. But working the inside lane of this racetrack is Kyle Goodboo. He had to come from the inside of the final row, Michael, and he's all the way up to third. Might be a player in this as they come to 2 to go.
Indeed he is, Nick, but we got to turn our attention back to the fight for the final transfer spot. A couple laps ago, the 9 of Beatty got way out of shape in turn 1, washed up, and the 3 of McCaskill got around him, but Cameron Beatty is putting the pressure back on him. The 3 McCaskill, the 9 Cam Beatty, only one looks like gonna make the main event as they are coming to the white flag.
White flag is out. Battle for the lead continues. Kyler Davis, a podium finisher last week, trying to hold on to it. Jake Grout trying to get it in the 49. Grout makes one last effort at it. Not going to get there. Kyler Davis wins heat number 2. Jake Grout and Kyle Goodboo round out the top 3. Brad Bushy and Mike McCaskill will make their way on to the 200-lap feature. And Cam Beatty is going to have to try again in the LCQ.
Tyler Davis, it wasn't easy, but he goes wire to wire. And the number 3 point man in the GossCars.com IACT series picks up 10 valuable points. He came in 5 points behind the number 2 man, Jake Grout. So Kyler Davis chipping in a little bit on that as they get ready for tonight's Throwback 200 presented by Fast One Motorsports. But we still got 2 more qualifying heats in the meantime, Nick. Heat number 3 now rolling away from the starting grid.
And how about this beautiful throwback scheme on the pole? Hayden Bushy, our second place finisher from last week, coming out in the Mark Barnier, the throwback yellow and black number 0 machine. To his outside, Dylan Zulo in the 16.
On the inside of row number 2, we've got another throwback. It's JJ Goodbooth throwing it back to the showstopper in car number 55. Alongside him, car number 13, throwing it back to himself tonight. That is Ty Delphia out of Waterbury, Vermont, the 13.
Now, I want to know, is JJ Goodboo throwing it back to the showstopper, or is he throwing it back to Gabe Brown's 2025 milk?
And the answer is yes.
The answer is yes. Inside of row 3, that's where we're going to find Gabe Brown's spotter. That's Dave Weir in the guaranteed overnight delivery North Conway Incinerators automobile. And to his outside in the 15, that is going to be Lucas Sidney.
And riding shotgun, driving car number 88 tonight. It's a modified throwback. He even painted the Nerf bars on the side of it. That is Richie Murray out of Rhode Island, starting 7th. Only 5 are going to qualify. It's Hayden the Hammer on the inside of row 1 and the 16 of Dylan Zulo on the outside as we go green.
Clean start into turn 1 and 2. Zulo on the outside trying to get the advantage. Bushy pedaling hard on the bottom trying to keep up with him, but Zulo's going to get the spot, and Bushy will settle into second. Third place still undetermined, as this race is going to have a little bit more fight towards the back here, Michael, because there's 2 cars out of this heat that will not advance to the feature, so every position just that much more meaningful. So Dylan Zulo and Hayden Bushy out in front are just wanting to get away at this point.
Indeed, no scratches from the grid in this one. And right now, Nick, we got 5 cars under a blanket fighting for 3 qualifying spots as they touch in the back of the pack. The 60 of Weir and the 88 of Murray, but getting together, fighting for 6. They are both, though, on the outside looking in. Up ahead of them, it's the Showstopper Part 3, JJ Goodboo inside the Dennis Dumas throwback, driven by Lucas Sidney. They're both working on the 13 of Delphia.
Yeah, and Richie Murray in that 88 there, the throwback to his grandfather's mini mod from back in the day at Seekonk. You know, for him, Richie Murray's a guy that won an IACT feature last year, won a race, and then missed the race last week at Thompson. Had some trouble in the heat races. Gets a bad draw today, has to come from the back once again. he's probably wishing this was plus minus, but right now he just wants to make sure that he gets into this feature. Does not want to have to go to that LCQ for the second week in a row, because last week he had to sit and watch the feature on TV.
And behind him, Nick, car number 60 tonight, Dave Weir, came into tonight number 7 in the points. Currently sitting last in this one, 2 spots out of the money. And we're coming to 6 down, 4 laps to go. So he is going to have to put some hustle in it to avoid the last chance race. In front of him, Richie Murray going for in the 88. On the inside of Lucas Sidney, that is the fight for the final qualified position.
Richie Murray trying to take that final qualified spot. The outside in the Dennis Dumas throwback is Lucas Sidney. Lucas Sidney, who won gold in race car vaulting last week at Thompson, but still rallied to have a decent finish. He's on the outside trying to make his third consecutive feature to start 2026. Races in the Strictly Minis at White Mountain, but it looks like Richie Murray is going to take the opportunity on the inside lane, drive past Sidney and into the final qualified spot here in the third heat.
Lap and a half to go in this one. Dylan Zulo has led it all the way in the 16. Then it's Hayden the Hammer in second, nose to tail for the third spot. The 13 Adelphia and the 55 of Goodboo. Zulo, your leader, heads into turn 2 for the final time.
White flag is out for Zulo. He has got multiple car length advantage over Bushy and Delphia and JJ Goodboo, and that is how they'll finish. Dylan Zulo takes down heat number 3. Bushy, Delphia, JJ Goodboo, Richie Murray qualified. Lucas Sidney and Dave Weir are both going to have to come back for the LCQ.
Indeed, not the place either driver wants to be, especially Dave Weir, a top 10 points driver, going to have to try and take the back door into the main event. Before that, though, we have one more heat race to get 5 more names. It's a straight up lineup for the feature based on the result from the heat race. So the winner of heat 4 will start 4th in the main event. And drawing the pole for this one, car number 9, the tech inspector of the Thompson Speedway and the Pro All-Star Series, Jason Ricker, on the pole alongside that absolutely beautiful throwback machine, last year's champion and the opening day winner of the GossCars.com IACT Series, Ryan Kuhn, the 72.
Yeah, Kuhn has some points to make up after his sub-driver Kyle Goodboo did not finish last week at Thompson, while Casey Beatty went on for the win. So Kuhn's got some points to make up here early on. Starting to the inside of row number 2 is the IACT point leader. That's Casey Beatty in the Polson Lumber number 45. To his outside, Eric Steele in the Horse Dog Motorsports entry car number 32.
Final row on the inside, driving the Quinny Welch throwback number 78 tonight. That is Lukey Shannon, going to roll 5th. And then car number 18, he throws it back to his dad, Jamie, every single time on the track. That is the Tropical Storm, Caden Fisher, the 18, the former king of the road at the Thunder Road Speed Bowl.
Caden Fisher there starting on the outside. He is going to be trying to make his way into the future. 6 cars start, 5 will qualify. 6th place finisher goes to the LCQ. Ricker on the inside, Kuhn on the outside. Green flag waves. We're underway in the 4th and final heat race for the Throwback 200.
Jason Ricker's time at the front is not going to last for long as the 72 Kuhn rim rides around the top side to the point. Here comes Beatty trying to put the splits on Ricker. Beatty, your current point leader, going for the number 2 spot.
Beatty to the inside. Ricker touched the wall there off of turn number 4. That's going to be advantage for the 45 machine. 3 wide behind him. Steele is there. Shannon is there. Caden Fisher is there, knowing that one of those 3 drivers is going to have to come through the LCQ. And right now they're trying to make sure that they're not the driver that has to do that.
Caden Fisher has a fast car, but he has nowhere to go right now. The 78, the 32 slap doors in front of him. They're fighting for 4th, and Caden Fisher stuck behind him in 6th. The 78, though, Shannon gets the break that time. 32 Steele, though, fights back on the top as Fisher again waits for the break.
Aiden Fisher patiently driving here, knowing that he just has to keep those two in touch and stay close to them to where if there's some contact or a mistake made by either one, where he can pounce and take over that final transfer position. Lukey Shannon looks like he is going to get the advantage here on Eric Steele. Steele really pedaling the number 32 machine on the outside lane, trying to pull back even. But Shannon right now on the inside, that Quinny Welch throwback certainly has the advantage.
Not missing anything at the front. The 72 Kuhn, the 45 Beatty pulling away. The 78 of Shannon seals that fourth spot. 32 of Steele tried to put the crossover move on him, but he is now the man on the bubble, coming to 4 laps to go. The 32 has the final transfer spot, and the 18 of Fisher wants it, heading into turn number 1.
Oh, Fisher rode the wall down the front stretch there. He's going to lose a ton of time trying to wind it back up through turns 1 and 2. They're within a car length of the 32, but he's got to make a move on him here. A battle between two really, really good iRacers here for the final transfer spot for a big time race, Michael. This pays $150 to win. And the throwback paint scheme night, I mean, it's a huge deal. One of the biggest races on the IACT calendar. Nobody wants to be sitting on the outside looking in for this one here tonight.
Yeah, if you want to win it, you got to be in it. And Caden Fisher is running out of time in the heat race. 2 to go. Ahead, there's a challenge for third. The 78 Shannon looks to the inside of Jason Ricker. They're coming to 1 more to go for the 72 Kuhn. Wheel to wheel the third spot. Fisher goes for it, but nothing there.
Yeah, Fisher drove that deep into turn 3. I'm surprised he even made the corner with how deep he drove it in there. But now he's just out. He's out of time. He's got to just make an aggressive move or just hope for a mistake. Up front, Ryan Kuhn is going to win the heat. Casey Beatty is second. Fight for third at the line. It's going to be Ricker, Shannon, Steele. Fisher will have to come back for the LCQ.
Oh man, some big names going to be in the LCQ tonight, Nick, as the 18, the Tropical Storm, does not qualify. Although it does look like we are going to a warm-up session, Nick, right now, so they may have decided to scrap the LCQ. We'll check with race control on that. But in the meantime, Nick, I think it's a good time to thank some of the sponsors who have made tonight's Throwback 200 possible.
Yeah, absolutely. We want to start off with the RKM Setup Shop providing us with a great setup once again here tonight for North Wilkesboro. You see this racetrack under the lights, all the beautiful renovations they've done to it, a nice new set of pavements. And Ryan Kuhn and RKM Setup Shop, those guys worked hard to get us a great setup for this race here tonight. And if you want to go faster in your open iRacing events, whether it's official races or hosted races or in your league, go check out RKM Setup Shop. You can buy setups by the season uh, and with many more options. Great setups. You're going to win a lot of races. You can just go to their Facebook page and see how often RKM Setup Shop drivers are winning official races in iRacing. It's a blistering pace, and both Casey Beatty and Ryan Kuhn are RKM guys, and they come in and they've won the last 2 championships in this league, and they're the cars to beat just about every week. So the proof is in the pudding right there. RKM Setup Shop; those guys do a great job.
Nick, I can catch an update for you. It does look like the plan originally was to run an LCQ, but with several cars scratching before the heat racing, getting us down to 24 cars, they have decided to not send just 2 home and put all 24 into the main event for tonight's Throwback 200, which is presented by Fast One Motorsports on 3 Mile Bridge Road in Middlesex, Vermont. Chassis, parts, and setup for everything under the sun racing in Vermont and New England. The Milton Cap American Canadian Tour, the ACT Flying Tigers, whether it's at Thunder Road, White Mountain Motorsports Park, they are a full line dealer for some of the biggest names in Northeast racing, including Dale Shaw Race Cars, DRP, BSR Products, 5-Star Race Car Body, Left Hander Chassis, Quartermaster, and many, many more. If you're looking for chassis parts, assistance, anything else, give them a call at 802-223-5888 or visit them at 46 Three Mile Bridge Road, Middlesex, Vermont, or find them on Facebook.
Yeah, absolutely. Fast One Motorsports, they have been a fixture in the Vermont and New Hampshire racing scene for a very, very long time. Pete Dudo, one of the nicest guys, one of the most well-respected guys in the garage area. Every Thursday night at Thunder Road, and his cars, they have some get up and go. If you've ever seen, you know, Bobby Therian, 2017 champion, got a couple of Labor Day classics, got a Milk Bowl to his name, and then of course you can't forget Phil Scott, all-time winningest driver at Thunder Road, has won every major race in his decades-long career as driver and now governor of Vermont. So Fast One Motorsports, they win races and they'll help you win races too.
And unlike Aerosmith, their get up and go has never got up and went. And the series, of course, spot brought to you by GossCars.com in the greater Burlington area and Champlain, New York. Goss has been proudly serving its customers for over 130 years. Originally incorporated way back in 1895 in St. Johnsbury as C.H. Goss Company. Now they are your leading dealer for Dodge, Jeep, Chrysler, Ram, Chevrolet, the biggest brands in the automotive industry. They're the number one selling Ram dealer in New England, and they are committed to you, the customer. They know that it's more than just the car, it's about trust, and you can trust the folks at gosscars.com for a new vehicle, a pre-owned vehicle, a lease, for service. Just remember, go, 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 Goss has got it.
Yes, they do. And I do want to make one note here before we move on to our feature here tonight. Fast One Motorsports, they have moved. They're no longer in Middlesex. They're 115 Granger Road. That's in Berlin. So it's just a couple miles down the road from their old Middlesex location that we all know. They moved over there to Granger Road in Berlin. So go check out Fast One Motorsports. And Michael, we are counting down our final seconds in our warm up session, and it is just about time for 200 laps of feature racing action. The Throwback 200, presented by Fast One Motorsports here at North Wilkesboro Speedway. Cars are getting on the grid. It's almost time to go racing.
It is, but a quick question first, Nick. Do you want me to be the one to tell Fast One Motorsports to put the new website, the new address on their website and Facebook page, or do you want to be the one to do it?
Oh, well, we will figure that one out. oh,
Anyway,
they are the cars are slowly making their way to the starting grid. And Michael, let's go through here and take a look at our starting lineup for tonight's race.
on the pole is going to be the 13 of Bob Eldred, your Heat number one winner. Alongside him, last week podium finisher, who beginning from the second spot this time, car number one is Kyler Davis. Dylan Zulo, the number 16, is going to start in third. And then alongside him, the final of the Heat winners, former champion Ryan Kuhn, car number 72.
And Ryan Kuhn will be taking an EOL penalty, it looks like here. Starting fifth will be Nate Wenzel in the 03. Then it's Jake Grout in the 49. Hayden Bushy, the Mark Barnier throwback, will roll off from seventh. And Casey Beatty also taking an EOL in the number 45 Polson Lumber Machine. He was slated to roll off eighth, but as the winner from last week's race, he'll start from the tail of the field.
We've also got the 18 tonight of Justin Prescott, the Days of Thunder, Russ Wheeler throwback, and Kyle Goodboe in the 17. The white 13 is Ty Delphia, and car number 9 is Jason Ricker.
Then we've got the Greg Biffle throwback. Cooper Bouchard in the 7. He finished fourth in last week's race at Thompson. And then it's Brad Bushy in the 52, a former Flying Tiger competitor. JJ Goodboe in the 55. Lukey Shannon in the 78.
We've got the 3 out there of Mike McCaskill, the former Flying Tiger winner. We've got also the 70 of Brock Rouse, Richie Murray in the 88, the 32 of Eric Steele, Randy Cole in the black 55, Cam Beatty in the 9, Lucas Sidney in the 15, and Caden Fisher in the 18. That's your field, Nick. 200 laps. They are headed towards you.
200 laps the distance, $150 to the winner. The Throwback 200 is underway.
away and running into the first turn. It's the 13 of the, excuse me, as they get sideways behind him. The one of Davis all out of shape, but it's the 13 of Eldred away with the lead. Here comes Zulo on the 16, the inside for second. Davis hung out early in the one.
See Cam Beatty catching the wall there in the Casey Kane throwback number 9. Zulo's going to go through around the one of Kyler Davis for second. Fight is on for fourth. That's Wenzel on the inside, Jake Grout on the outside in the Chris Grout throwback.
Wenzel in the 03, the 49, Jake Grout, the 17 of Kyle Goodboo looking for some room to work. This is fourth, fifth, and sixth on your screen. 2 by 2 behind him as well. It's early in this one, but they're trying to get what they can while the getting is good. The 52, Brad Bushy, thinking about 3 wide.
Trouble in the back. Mike McCaskill's around, and Eric Steele's in it. Caden Fisher's in it. Ryan Kuhn has come into contact with the parked cars on the back straightaway, and the yellow flag is out for the first time, and it started with Eric Steele and Mike McCaskill getting side by side. They were 3 wide into the corner as we take a look at our GossCars.com iRacing replay.
You can see it right there. Just they start the little bit of contact. The 3 of McCaskill slides down the track into Fisher, sends him careening back at the top. Looks like 7 or 8 cars involved, including some of our heady hitters. As Casey Beatty says, thank you very much to Cam Beatty as they get back rolling. Kuhn is in it. The 15 Sydney looks like got a piece. Some big dogs who had to come out of the back, and now they got one more obstacle to overcome in this one.
Yeah, the 3 car was having some trouble. He'd hit the wall a couple of laps in a row, and uh, running 3 wide early on is really tough. And the wreck happens, and they just start stacking up. Dave Weir involved there. Casey Beatty, though, he did a really good job to hold on to that race car. I don't think he hit anything until he made contact with his brother.
Yeah, a little brotherly shove at the end there. We'll see how that affects the cars. A few people on pit road in this one. The 60 of Weir on pit road, Randy Cole. As we take one more look at the replay from the cockpit. Oh, hard plant there from the 55 of Randy Cole Jr. Does avoid a second hard contact with the 9, but some cars are turning from pit road right now, Nick. The 18 still got some damage. The 60 still got some damage, but they're going to get out there. The 45 has the nose punched in. They'll see what they can do, though. The 15 of Sydney, the 55 Cole, and 32 of Steele among those still on pit road.
We got a number of cars on pit road. No fast repairs tonight, so you got to wait for that damage to be repaired. And we'll see here if any penalties stem from that. But it does not look like it at this point. Looks like looks like we're going to chalk that up to a racing incident. Get on with it here.
We do also want to note, Nick, tonight is 200 laps or 100 minutes, and caution laps will count tonight. It is a very long race, 200 laps around a 5/8 mile track. So caution laps will count. There will be a green-white checker rule towards the end of the race if it comes to that. But the pace car is in. The 13 of Eldred, the 16 of Zula ready to do business as they head back towards the green flag.
Bob Eldred and Dylan Zula, a couple guys that really could benefit from a good run here tonight after a lackluster couple of first races. Green flag back out. It's Eldred leading the charge. Zulo trying to rally the troops on the outside. They'll settle into first and second. The field settles in behind them, still side by side, just about all the way through the field.
The one of Davis, the 03 of Wenzel behind him. They're slicing and dicing too. The 18 of Prescott looking. The one of Davis in a very unfamiliar position. Last week he started dead last on the 22-car grid. Survived several accidents to drive up to third. This week starting on the front row. Fell back a little early, but it's going to re-secure the third spot as the 03 of Wenzel all crossways. That allows Grout to get underneath him. Oh no, JJ Goodboo thinking about 3 wide.
Yeah, they were thinking about 3 wide there. That's Kyle Goodboo in the Wayne Hellowell throwback number 17. Is we've got Jason Ricker sideways off the corner. Get off the corner here. It's so sketchy, Michael. You really got to. There's a couple different ways to run this track. The setup, it tends to trend a little bit to the looser side. You got to make sure you don't jump into the gas too early because the back end of that car is going to want to spin around. You got to manage your tires and manage your car as well. You don't want to be spinning in front of the field.
But if you jump into the throttle too late, Nick, you could see 3 or 4 fly by you on the straightaway. So it is certainly a balancing act you have to fight even early on in this 200 lap event.
Yeah, absolutely. As we see the field really starting to settle in here, a lot of drivers up towards the front. Everybody up to Jason Ricker is gotten down to single file. You see Justin Prescott in the Hardy's Days of Thunder throwback there. He's working on Brad Bushy for position in that 18 machine. That is a battle for 10th spot. And so now you see the top 10 drivers all, or top 11, I guess you could say now with Bushy, all settling into single file racing. While the side by side stuff still wages on behind him. And Michael, you don't want to forget here, we got to watch that 72 of Kuhn, who you see way back in your screen, the 45 of Beatti, the winners of the first two races and your point leaders. They're going to have to make their way up through the field here tonight.
Indeed, they are. So far, being patient, just working their way forward on the inside. You see the 72 Kuhn on your screen right now, looking to the inside of Cooper Bouchard, a battle, I believe, for the 14th spot on the grid. Oh, and you see the 45 Beatti get shuffled behind him, the 13 Adelphia working to his inside. So everyone's though just trying to get some laps in here, trying to save the tires, but also at the same time, you don't want to let the leaders get too far ahead as Bushy
Yeah.
slaps the wall off of 4.
Yeah, Bushy gets the wall to the inside of Ryan Q. Now slides way up to the fourth groove. He's going to try to settle that thing back down, and he will settle into P14. Ryan Kuhn up to 13th in the 72. And Michael, we're talking about points here, third race of the year. You're probably thinking, why are they talking about points so early? It's a 5-race schedule this year. Every single race is massive when it considers when you consider the full point schedule. So 5 races, each race is 20% of your season. You really got to make every race count if you want to be IACT champion in 2026.
Indeed, and that's part of why you saw such hard racing in the heat races earlier, because there's points in the heat races, 10 to win the heat. There's 75 in the feature, so everyone's got to get while they can. As we head back to some side-by-side action, you saw the 78 of Shannon trying to get underneath the 03 of Wenzel, but nothing doing that time. Now looks to the outside as they're fighting for the 6th and 7th position with 20 laps complete in the Throwback 200. And up ahead, you see the 17 of Kyle Goodboe. He'd been working on Davis for a while and Grout, for a while, but now he is on the charge for the 3rd spot.
Yeah, Kyle Goodboe trying to get into a podium position. Top 3 spots in this race pay out money. So you want to get into that position and you want to stay there. Kyler Davis, we saw him make his way to that podium position last week. Kyle Goodboe had a rough week while subbing for Ryan Kuhn. Not a points chasing driver is Kyle Goodboe in that Wayne Hellowell throwback, but he is chasing the trophies this IACT season. Still working on Kyler Davis. A great side-by-side battle here for 3rd place, while Bob Eldred and Dylan Zulo hold down the top 2 spots here on lap number 24.
And Nick, we can update you. We heard from Kyler Davis. He has one word to describe his race car right now, and that is loose. Loose right now for Kyler Davis. He is just trying to hang on, but he's given up the 3rd spot as we watch the leader Eldred on the screen, and he might be in danger of giving up 4th as well, but is able to pull in front of the 49 Grout.
Yeah, and this is a long race here tonight, Michael. Right? Like there is a lot of laps that need to get logged if this is going to if you're going to have to if you're going to have a good night. You got to settle in. You got to figure out what your car needs for both the short and long run. And you know that you have 2 sets of tires. Usually, you only get 1 set or no sets of tires in IACT. But for the long distance here tonight, you get 1 extra, or you get 2 extra sets of tires, so you can change your tires twice. But you don't want to run through all 3 of those sets as hard as you can. You want to maintain a little bit and try to gain a tire advantage over the field. But right now, the big thing: track position, logging laps, just be there at the finish. It's a lot like yesterday's Daytona 500.
Indeed, you got to be there at the end, and the better you can conserve, the more options you can have. The one guy who's not doing a whole lot of conserving right now, Nick, is the 16 of Dylan Zulo. He is looking high, looking low for that lead on the 13 of Bob Eldred. So far, Eldred has been able to fend him off, but with 28 complete in this one, they're working the high side now with the 17 of Kyle Goodboot trying to make it a three-man tango at the front.
Yeah, Goodboo is making his way to the front, and I think that's kind of put up the panic meter just a little bit for Dylan Zulo. He's thinking, if I want this lead, I'm going to have to beat Kyle Goodboo to it, because Goodboo is really tracking down these leaders and really trying to make something happen. We see the 9 car coming off of pit road here as well, right behind him. That's Jason Ricker. He's all the way back in 22nd. He's going to be a lap down here. I wonder what happened there. He had to go to pit road for something. But something going on there, and now you see the 17 Goodboot makes the move on Zulo down to the inside. Zulo hits the wall, and Goodboot is going to take second position, and now he is going to try to take over the lead from Bob Eldred in the 13.
Some serious heat on the 13 of Eldred. His fire suit might burst into flames. It's getting so hot there. The 17 of Goodboot swings to the inside. Wants to put it on the point. The 13 of Eldred trying to rim ride the high groove. The 17 too close to call it the line. Maybe the 13 by a little bit. And behind him, some side-by-side action as well, Nick. Things getting spicy here as we hit the 32 lap mark.
Side-by-side battle for the lead. Kyle Goodboot and the Wayne Hellowell, the Dominator throwback. Hellowell on the Goodboot on the inside in the Hellowell car. Eldred on the outside in the Mind Warp 13. Eldred trying to hold on to the lead. He's led every lap so far, but it looks like he's going to lose the spot to Kyle Goodboot in the 17 New Hampshire.
The Punisher, Kyle Goodboot tonight in the Wayne Hellowell throwback.
I got that wrong, didn't I?
Who's the lead? Hey, Nick, with Brothers Racing and throwbacks, all sorts of fun is happening with names tonight. And we got the 78 of Lukey Shannon up against the wall in 1 and 2. Able to get it rolling, but loses several spots as trouble for the 78 who was running well in the top 10.
Yeah, Shannon, he hit the wall there a ton. He's got a lot of right side damage, as you can see on that 78 machine, the Quinny Welch throwback. He has lost a couple of spots here. Hard contact with the wall, and it's dropped him all the way to 10th, and now Casey Beatty going after him for position. And Michael, as we look at this little group right here battling for that 10th spot, look who made their way ahead of Ryan Kuhn here. It's still early, but Casey Beatty has, he was running behind Kuhn, has now gotten around him, and as they fight their way towards the front, as the 45 and the 72 often do in IACT, Casey Beatty has taken over the advantage on Ryan Kuhn.
Running 11th and 12th right now, but the 45 has to lift as the 78 gets the advantage for 10th spot, and that allows Kuhn to drop to the inside. The 2 men to beat on the IACT series presented by Goskar will go side by side for 11th, and ahead of them, Lukey Shannon trying to hop on the comeback trail, takes a peek to the inside of Justin Prescott. We're going to now take a look out the rear of his cars. They're thinking 3 wide behind him. Shannon drop kick to the high side.
Beatty, the meat in the sandwich. That's all Ryan Kuhn needs to see. They will both clear Shannon in the 78 and head back for turn 1 side by side, with Kuhn now taking over 10th, Beatty dropping to 11th. Shannon on the comeback trail on the high side, trying to make up for hitting the wall there a few laps ago.
Letting it
Caution
all...
flag. Caution flag is
Caution
out.
flag, yes.
Caden Fisher around in turn 1.
Oh, another tough break for the tropical storm. Puts us under caution 40 laps in, and with caution laps counting, Nick, the 18 just lost a lap as well. And we do have free passes, but now that puts him even further behind the 8 ball. Right now, just looking for a spot to get it right as he finally does. Our replay team will see if they can figure out what happened to the 18, and we'll also keep an eye out to see if now 40 laps in, we might start seeing some pit stops. But first, let's check out the GossCars.com IACT replay.
Oh, Bouchard and Fisher hooked together. Oh, Delphia piles in as well. heavy contact for all three cars. Cooper Bouchard in the VSAC machine, Caden Fisher in the SD Ireland 18. Man, I wonder what happened here. Coming off the corner. I don't know. Looks like
Touch,
they
just
just came together.
just a little bit of contact, and sometimes that is all it takes, Nick.
Yeah. Caden
So
Fisher will receive an EOL penalty for that. That goes towards one of his two EOL penalties for the night. You get one per race. The second one, you are asked to come try again next week. Let's take a slow mo look from the roof cam of the Fisher car here. You can see he's sliding up the track, and into the 7 of Bouchard, and they both go spinning. Yeah, that's hard contact for both of them. You see the hood come loose, and then that's going to be a lot of damage. Fisher has way more problems to worry about than going a lap down and getting the OL here.
indeed, he's going to have to head to pit road and do a lot of work. The 7 of Bouchard has already been on pit road, along with the 55 of JJ Goodboo, the showstopper part 3. Can also report, Nick, the 9 of Jason Ricker received the free pass on that caution. And as you can see on your screen, they're doubling up. The lights are out on the pace car. None of your lead lap cars decide to pit for tires that time around. Everyone looking to wait and try and get a little more feel good out of them. And the pace cars in, Nick, we're ready to go back racing.
Pace car is in. Yeah, Michael, you do not want to put yourself at a tire disadvantage tonight. I think, changing off your first set by by lap 44, that would be prime position to put yourself at a disadvantage on tires. As we go back to green, Kyle Goodboo and the Wayne Hellowell throwback to the inside, and he will clear Bob Eldred. Eldred's a second. Zulo settles into third. The side by side racing from a fourth on back.
And take a look at this 88 of Richie Murray. Started 19th tonight after missing the show last week, and he has charged up to the 6th position. Gets underneath Zulo, now going to take a look at that battle between the 49 Grout and the 1 of Davis, see if he can break into the top 5.
Yeah, great charge to the front here from Richie Murray here tonight. He loves these short little bull ring type racetracks. This is where Richie Murray is at his best. And we saw him win a race last year, and he's going to be a threat in this one as well. He's very good at saving his tires, very good at preserving his race car, and started off with a really bad draw in the heat race, but he seems to be making the best of his night here tonight. As the action really getting hot and heavy back there around our championship leaders.
Yes, top 12 or 13 cars have broken away into a distinct pack. The 42 of Q, number 6-point man, and the 45 of Beatty, your point leader towards the tail end of this pack, trying to work. Can confirm, Nick, the 7 of Bouchard, too much damage, has had to retire from the event, but they're making up for the lost action in front of him. 2 by 2 from about 4th on back.
Yeah, this is quite a battle here from fourth on back, and it starts with the side by side fight with Kyler Davis and Jake Kraut. A couple of drivers fighting to get in position to try to be on that podium, and it's going to be interesting here because like you said, you want to manage your tires, but the track position is going to be very important. It is difficult as easy as Richie Murray and Ryan Kuhn and Casey Viatti have all made it look. Track position is very valuable here. It's really tough to make your way up through the field if you're starting at the back. As you see, the front cars here in this side by side pack lean on each other. Grout there on the inside and Davis on the inside and Grout on the outside, leaning on each other a little bit going into the corner.
Tyler Davis seemed to be coming on a little bit towards the end of that last run, trying to continue the train, but the 49 of Grout holding on that outside, keeping the momentum up very nicely. The 03 of Wenzel has been able to get back into it, and the 72 Ryan Kuhn, after that early incident, on the inside in the 7th spot. The reigning champion back in the hunt once again.
Yeah, Ryan Kuhn has gotten a couple of car buffer in between him and Casey Beatty. Beatty seems content to run the top right. This isn't like any of the two races that we've run so far. With the Milk Bowl, you had the three segments where you're trying to score as good of a score as you can, and then you had Thompson where it was 100 laps. You had a limited time to get to where you needed to go. Beatty knows that he can be patient here. He doesn't necessarily have to be right with Kuhn the entire time. Would it be great? Sure, but would a tire advantage over Kuhn be a better way to get the win tonight? Absolutely. I think that's what Beatty's doing, but the top side's really starting to go here.
There are many paths forward in this one, Nick, and as you said, the outside getting the momentum reeled up. The 03 of Wenzel is around Davis. The 88 of Richie Murray trying to do the same, and Casey Beatty, by being patient, now in the line that is going. He's drawing a bead on the one of Kyler Davis, looking for another spot in this one with 56 laps complete in the Throwback 200.
Yeah, and Kuhn is just going backwards on the inside as well as Kyler Davis. So neither of those drivers really liking that bottom lane too much. Davis especially struggling down there, and it's brought Kuhn to the back of this pack. You see Lukey Shannon in the 78 getting there as well. Let's ride on board here with Ryan Kuhn. Take a look and see maybe where those guys are gaining on him through the corner as they run the outside.
Ryan Kuhn, the man who creates the setups here, right now is just kind of pinned behind the one of Davis. The inside you see Nick does get the man going into the corner, but the one of Davis looks like he might be loose again as he wiggled there. And when you're loose like that on the inside, Nick, you really can't get on the gas because when you're loose, you want to run the car wide, but Davis can't right now, and it seems to be costing him some valuable momentum, taking him and Kuhn to the back of this pack.
Yeah, Davis that car's too loose to run the bottom. Can't get the power down, and you can see, look at the advantage that the 45 gets on corner exit. That's where he gains all of his momentum, is on corner exit and down the straightaway. Davis can stay even into the corner through the center, but as soon when it's that battle of who gets back into the power first, Casey Beatty and the 45 and really the entire outside lane is winning that easily. And yeah, that's a sign of a loose race car. Is you can't get the throttle down at the same rate as the guy on the outside who might have a little bit of a better handling car right now.
And as you can see, Nick, as you look out off the roof of the one car, it's not just Davis falling back on the inside. The 03 of Nate Wenzel has moved around the 49 of Jake Grout, using that top side to take over the fourth spot. Now Grout kicked down there. The 88 of Murray trying to break into the top five. Everybody rolling the top right now. It seems to be the place to be as we enter the middle stages of this one.
Yeah, as the race goes along here, and you see it in the Cup races too at North Wilkesboro. The top has a lot of speed here because you can keep the car more wound up, you can get more momentum going, you can get that throttle down sooner, and that's what we're seeing here. Is this top lane really start to take on some rubber and really start to gather some momentum? And you see big moment there for the one car, and Kuhn is just going backwards as a result of this. Jake Kraut's starting to drop anchor as well in the 49. This outside lane is just it's dominating right now over the inside.
All of that to the benefit of the 78 of Lukey Shannon and the 0 of Hayden the Hammer. If you're wondering where the Hammer comes from, the 0 of Mark
Big
Browning
moment
was known as the Hammer for his career, and old Hayden the Hammer is getting it done on the outside as well, the outside of Grout. But Kyler Davis behind him has finally been able to escape the top side. The 72 of Q, no, has not.
Yeah, Davis was able to get up there because Justin Prescott had a big sliding moment off the corner. Oh, and the 0 just got hooked. Hayden Bushy got hooked. He's going to go to the back of this pack here. Nice job saving that race car, but some big trouble there is Jake Grout was able to get made contact with Bushy and lost a couple of spots. Now he's gotten passed by both Kuhn and Davis. Now has Brock Rouse in the Scott Dragon 70 throwback underneath him, trying to clear him. Oh, that's going to be tight. It's going to be tight, but Rouse is going to get the spot. No, he's going to dive back for the bottom.
Nick, Hayden the Hammer got hooked, and alliterative linguists everywhere rejoiced. And no, I am not going to apologize for that. as we are approaching 70 laps complete in the Throwback 200. Up front, the 88 of Richie Murray is hot to trot, and behind him, the 45 of Beatty. They both head to the inside of Dylan Zulo. They are on the
Whoa!
charge. That is the fight for the third spot. Is hang on, boys.
Wenzel almost lost it off the front bumper of Shannon. Now
Ooh,
Zulo's in the wall. A fight here between Wenzel, Zulo, and Shannon trying to gain position as both Beatty and Richie Murray have driven away with the spot there. Murray's now up to third, Beatty up to fourth, Eldred in second, and Kyle Goodboe have driven away. They're on the backstretch as third place Richie Murray enters into turn number one. Oh, and we got
something is
problems back here.
definitely.
Eldred's been spun out. Eldred is around.
Oh my! I see the 9 of Beatty in it as well, Cameron Beatty, and the yellow flag is out. Oh my!
We'll take a look at our GossCars.com IACT replay here. Cam Beatty had hit the wall in the 9 car. You see him in the wall there. And oh my
Ooh,
goodness.
and right
Oh,
down the track into your second place man. Oh man! Possible flat right front or something else happened, but
yeah.
13 of Bob Eldred, we unfortunately. Oh yeah, you see the 9 of Beatty just go straight into the wall off of turn 4. That thing would not turn.
Yeah, I think he lost his right front tire there. And now, Michael, we're going to see a bunch of guys come down to pit road. See, we've got a whole host of drivers on the pits right now. Casey Beatty, Ryan Kuhn, Kyler Davis down there,
And the
and others.
16 of Zulo has made a late pit, Nick. I'm not sure if he decided late to pit or if he didn't see the pit road was open, but he's come in a lap after the leaders have, so that's a tough break in terms of track position for Zulo.
Yeah, we had some drivers stay out, it looks like, too. I think Kyle Goodboe, Richie Murray, Nate Wenzel, and Justin Prescott have all stayed out, possibly others.
Yep, the 0 of Hayden Bushy has also stayed out. I have to confirm whether the 72 has stayed out as well, but at the very least, your top 4 or 5 cars did elect to stay out and play some strategy there.
Yeah, it's we talk about that tire advantage now. Can you get? I think these guys are going to want to go. Wouldn't want to go more than 100 laps on the right sides. I think at lap 100, you'd probably want to come down and change those tires, but it would give you a tire advantage. The what you don't want though is just a quick a long green flag run here because it looks like I believe Bushy stayed out as well. So Ryan Kuhn would be the first car off of pit road, followed by Beatty in 6th and 7th. So not a lot of guys stayed out right here. This is not a pop. They don't have strength in numbers on this decision. But if they can get a 15 to 20 lap green flag run here, and then get a caution to come down pit road, I think this strategy works. If we go another 50 laps, green flag here, they're gonna have a tire advantage, but the track position is just gonna be long gone.
Yeah, if it goes too long, Nick, you might start wondering about these cars potentially getting lapped, depending on how big of an advantage 4 tires are. And we're going to find out about that soon enough. Took an extra lap there to make sure everyone was off pit road, but now the pace car is in, and it's the 17 of Kyle Goodboe and the 88 of Richie Murray who are going to lead him back to the restart with coming to 77 laps complete.
And a couple of guys here, as we go back green, Michael, had problems on pit road. The one, Kyler Davis, he's back in 17th position. Brock Rouse back in 16th. Oh, and there's problems in the first turn with the 70 and the 1. They both go around. It looks like we're going to stay green as they try to get it back going. Their problems going from bad to worse here after long pit stops.
Oh,
A couple
man.
guys that were running inside of the top 10 have fallen back here, but back up at the front, Kyle Goodboe's out in front. We're going to watch for these guys, the 72, the 45, and everybody else to make their way up through the field here on Fresh Tires. We're going to find out what the tire advantage might be here right now, Michael.
Well, first they're going to have to find a lane to work with, and just as I say that, the 03 of Wenzel is going to get clear of Hayden Bushy. So once the 72 of Kuhn gets through there, he can find some room to work. 45 Beatti, though, still pinned on the inside. Top four trying to pull away while they have the chance as they go tit for tat behind them.
And it is a log jam as Kuhn has gotten through, but Beatti now is the one that's trapped down on the inside. Jake Grout's up to his outside. Oh, Beatti might think about 3 wide. This is going to get interesting down into turn 1. Bushy is going to back out of it, and Beatti's going to take the spot and probably try to get to the top side here as quickly as possible.
And that's the kind of move, Nick, that you can get away with when you have fresh tires. You can dive to the inside and know that your car is a whole lot more likely to stick than the guys who are on worn tires. Casey Beatti taking advantage while he had the opportunity and fighting his way out of the box in the 45.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be aggressive on these restarts, right? Like, you've got to have an opportunity. You got to give yourself an opportunity to move up through the field, to stay in contact with those other cars with fresh tires. You don't want to be too patient when your car is at its best and other people have their car at their worst and cause yourself to lose a bunch of positions that way. So, Beatti, an aggressive move there, but he makes it work. And now he's got to make his way up and try to catch that 72 of Ryan Kuhn because Kuhn is up to 4th and he is hunting the leaders right now.
He is hunting the leaders, but I'll tell you what, Nick, he's running about the same lap times as your top three right now. Not sure if he's just biding his time right here or if the tires aren't as big advantage as we thought, because the 17 of Goodboo and the 88 of Richie Murray are running some pretty good laps this year and have stretched the margin out over the rest of the field.
Yeah, they have top 4 really in a bit of a breakaway here. There's not a lot going on between them. You're right, Kuhn is not catching the 18 of Prescott at the rate that we might expect with the fresh tires. I know at the old North Wilkesboro, the 1987 version in iRacing, the tire advantage could be a big one. Might not see the same thing here at the new North Wilkesboro, the present day version. But now you get into the back bumper of Justin Prescott as we see this battle continue for fifth on back. It is just a hornet's nest back here with everybody trying to jockey for position.
Brad Bushy putting the slide job on Nate Wenzel, moved the 52 into the top 5. Wenzel back to 6th, and the 49, Jake Grout, your number 2 point man, and the 45 of Beatti. And we can confirm, Nick, right behind him, even after his trouble earlier, thanks to the free pass, Jason Ricker, the 9, back on the lead lap and fighting in the top 10.
Yeah, good recovery from Ricker. If you want to have a problem in a 200-lap race, you definitely want to have it in the first 50 laps or so. But we did
Nick,
see
we
him
got a
come down.
challenge for third spot now. The 72 Kuhn has decided it's time to go.
Yeah, Kuhn underneath Justin Prescott as they head for turn 3. Kuhn looks like he's going to take that position. Prescott trying not to get the tires too upset. He'll fire back now, though, on the outside. Maybe try to stick with them a little bit. You see, remember in different paint schemes, but Prescott and Kuhn had that excellent battle a couple of weeks ago for the segment finish there in segment 2 of the IACT Milk Bowl. But this one, much much less exciting as Kuhn just takes the spot here away from Prescott. 75 lap newer tires will do that.
91 laps complete. We'll turn our attention to some side-by-side action for the 8th position. The 78 of Lukey Shannon, the 03 of Wenzel, and the 9 of Jason Ricker. That is 8th, 9th, and 10th as the 5th, 6th, 7th cars have stretched the margin on them. 78 Shannon going to get clear, but the 03 Wenzel tries the crossover. Nothing doing, and here comes the 9 of Ricker on the inside.
Yeah, Ricker down to the bottom of the racetrack, trying to get around Wenzel, loosening it a little bit, sliding up the corner. But they will still fight side by side there behind Lukey Shannon in the 78 as the laps continue to wind on here at North Wilkesboro.
And the action picking up in front of them as well. Here comes the 49 Jake Grout, your number 2 point man on the inside of Justin Prescott for the 4th position as we are closing on halfway. The 78 of Shannon getting bounced around as well. You can see in the background he hangs on to it. but 2 across for the 4th spot. 49 Grout, 18 of Prescott, Casey Beatty, and Brad Bushy.
Yeah, Grout is going to take the spot here, and Prescott is not done losing positions as Bushy is dirt tracking it. Good thing he drives it airborne now. He could save that one off of turn number 2. Bushy, big moment there, loses his tires and slides the car up. Going to lose a bunch of positions as a result of that. But back up here, Prescott, you can see him sliding up to the front as Beatty gets by. Prescott is loose, though. I think the tires may have started to hit the wall for car number 18.
And keep an eye on this 49 of Grout, Nick, because once he got the clear the traffic, he has run the 72 down in the fight for the 3rd spot. Your number 2 point man, Jake Grout, running some of the fastest laps on the track right now. Already on the rear deck lid of the 72. That is for 3rd spot, as we're just a couple laps away from the halfway mark.
Getting closer and closer to halfway with Kuhn there in front of Grout, trying to run down the 88 of Richie Murray. It is the 17 of Kyle Goodboo's been out front this whole time, but you can see Beatty, he is getting closer and closer now to the 49 and the 72. Beatty trying to get his way back into this battle, and we know so often in IACT, it it comes down to the 72 and the 45. And right now, the 72 has the advantage.
But they're all chasing the 17 of Kyle Goodboo, who has stretched his lead to over 2.5 seconds, Nick, as we take the halfway mark. Last week, Kyle Goodboo was subbing for Ryan Kuhn, had a rough go of it, back in his familiar number 17 with the Wayne Hellwell colors, and he has gone off and left him. You could see in the camera shot there, basically a straightaway ahead of 2nd place Richie Murray.
Yeah, I mean, Goodboo has put on a clinic so far. We saw him drive to the lead early on, and it's just been no contest since then. Everybody else has been trying to make their way up through the field, and you got to remember, the 17 not only has a straightaway advantage in this race, he has a set of tires over almost the entire field right now. Still has both change sets in the pits, while everybody else is down to one set of tires that they can change out. Just a big time advantage for the 17 here. He's been racing just like the guy who he's got the throwback to, Wayne Hellowell. Wayne Hellowell had so many dominant runs while behind the wheel of an ACT race car over the years.
As this is happening, Nick, you've seen on the screen the 49 of Jake Grout has driven around the outside to the 2nd spot. The 45 of Beatty now doing the same on Murray as we head to the chopper cam piloted by GossCars.com's Brian Hoare. And Nick, you said the 72 had pitted during that last caution, but I'm honestly starting to wonder if he did, or if he did, whether he took all 4 tires. Because you would expect Ryan Kuhn to have just darted to the front here, but you're seeing not just Casey Beatty, but Jake Grout, the 49 as well, just leave him in the dust here in the middle stages.
Yeah, they've really gotten by here, and Kuhn sliding back. I mean, he definitely was on pit road, Michael. I don't know if maybe he took his tires earlier, if he's just got just struggling on the inside. Yeah, things not going his way right now at all. Good news is we still got just under 100 laps to go in this. He's still got plenty of time to figure his stuff out here if he wants to make a run at the checker.
Nick, well, things have gotten sorted out here. It seems like a really good time to take you through the field. So let's start at the front of this thing. The 17 of Kyle Goodboo, all by his lonesome now in the lead spot. The 49 of Jake Grout, your number 2 point man, having a whale of a run in the 2nd spot. All 4 seconds behind, but doing his best to give chase. Then the 45 Casey Beatty, the 08 Richie Murray, and last year's champion Ryan Kuhn rounding out your top 5 with 108 laps complete in this one.
Brad Bushy went for that big slide earlier, but he is currently in 6th. Jason Ricker is 7th. Lukey Shannon 8th in the Quinny Welch throwback. Dylan Zulo, we saw him out at the front of the field, started outside pole tonight. He is currently in 9th, and Justin Prescott in the Days of Thunder throwback currently holding on to the 10th position.
Real quickly, the rest of the cars on the lead lap. You've got the 03 of Wenzel, the 0 of Hayden the Hammer Bushy, Kyler Davis in the 1, the 70 of Brock Rouse, and the 60 tonight being driven by Dave Weir, who he did just go a lap down, as the 17 of Kyle Goodboe starting to pick off some strong cars in this one. We were again setting a towards pace and holding a 4+ second lead over your second place man, Jake Grout, even on those old tires.
Yeah, absolutely. Bob Eldred, Caden Fisher, JJ Goodboe, all laps down as well. Eric Steele is 7 laps back. Cam Beatty's out of the race. Lucas Sidney's out of the race. Cooper Bouchard, Mike McCaskill, and Randy Cole Jr. All out of this event so far. We got 15 of our 26, 25, I should say, drivers that took the green flag.
Oh, we got Bushy in the wall. Bushy's in the wall.
Brad Bushy in the wall.
Oh,
Nate
and he
Wenzel
gets tattooed by Wenzel.
Nate Wenzel piles in the 03. We'll take a look at our replay here and see what happened. We take a look. Oh, he just ran into the back of the 88 and spun it, backed it into the wall. Just a bad spot to be. Oh, Prescott got into it too.
Man.
Wow. Just a horrible spot to be turned around broadside on the racetrack. As you said last week, Michael, there's no good spot to be broadside across the racetrack, but the entrance of turn 1 is definitely low on the list.
And Nick, while we watch the inside, business has picked up on pit road. Your leader, Kyle Goodboe, is in. Lukey Shannon is in. Ryan Kuhn, Jason Ricker, among those on pit road as business has picked up. Hayden Bushy in pit road as well, as we watch from the inside of Justin Prescott as he just gets clipped in that accident. But we had there, Nick, about almost a 45 lap green flag run. It was right on the edge, but just in time for some of those drivers who gambled and stayed out.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting here with the strategy as you see Grout out in front of the field. A lot of drivers coming to pit road there to get their, in some cases, first set of tires. In some cases, did we have anybody take their second set of tires here?
I don't think so, Nick, although we'll see if we can get anyone to confirm. Grout and Beatty, your front 2 cars on the track, did pit in the last caution. So did the 16 of Dylan Zulo. I believe the 13 of Delphi and the 1 of Davis did as well, and they're electing to stay out here to try and hold on to that second set of tires for as long as we can. But the 17 of Goodboe looks like is going to restart 7th here, so clearly action was busy on pit road as we're doubling up to go back racing.
Yes, we are about to go green here. As we take a look at the field, Jake Grout on the inside, Casey Beatty to his outside. Green flag about to be displayed upon these drivers on lap number 118 of 200.
Pace cars in. Jake Grout and Casey Beatty, the top 2-point drivers in the GossCars.com IACT series. Bring them down. Grout gets the lead as Ty Delphia swaps lanes and moves up to the 3rd spot behind them.
Delphia gets clear into 3rd. Remember, he had a great run last week going at Thompson before getting plowed into the turn 3 wall late in the race. Delphia might be trying to get a little bit of revenge for last week and make up for it. He was running in the top 3 at one point last week, trying to stay there in the top 3 here today. They're 3 wide behind him.
Side by side for the lead and 3 wide for the 5th spot. Kyle Goodboe. Oh, trouble for the lead. Grout and Beatty are in the wall.
Looks like we're going to stay green. Delphia takes over the advantage. They're still 3 wide behind him. Delphia, Grout, and Beatty got into each other. I didn't quite see what happened, but Beatty now on the top of 3 wide, way back in the field. That could be a big negative factor for the 45. while Delphia now challenging Jake Grout for the top spot. What a turn of events.
It looked to me, Nick, I was watching the 49 and the 45 just got squeezed each other into the front stretch wall around the start finish line. Luckily, everyone able to keep it going forward, and Jake Grout is back into the top spot. Casey Beatty, though, shuffled all the way back to fifth before he can get it rolling again. Fortunately, it appears that both of them have avoided any major damage. And in all that, Kyle Goodboo, who is dominating the race on warm tires, is now challenging for the second spot with a fresh set of Hoosiers.
The dominant car of the day, the 17 of Kyle Goodboo and the Wayne Hellowell Throwback. He is into second place. Now is going to set his sights for the lead. Pulls to the back bumper of Jake Grout. Now is going to take the top side, opting for the long way around the racetrack is Goodboo. Maybe a crossover as Grout blocks the advance. Into turn 3, they go side by side for the top spot.
The number 2 point man had the lead, but here comes Kyle Goodboo. Too close to call. Oh, has he got trouble behind him? 78 Welch, one of Davis in the wall. That is going to bring out the caution flag with 125 complete in the Throwback 200.
Lukey Shannon involved in the Quinny Welch Throwback number 78. You see the damage to the front end there. Let's take a look at the GossCars.com IACT replay. They get side by side, 3 wide. Rouse is there. Oh, Davis and Shannon just get hooked together. Shannon goes hard into the wall. Doesn't look like anybody else was involved in this one, Michael. But heavy contact for Lukey Shannon.
Indeed. Tough hit there. Cars battling for starts in the top 10. And we're going to get a look at the replay here as, yep, they just kind of bounced off each other and kept bouncing until the one and the 78 ended up in the wall.
Vicious hit for the 78. Both the 78, the 1, the 9 of Jason Ricker are on pit road.
Ty Delphia headed to pit road as well in car number 13, along with the 18 of Justin Prescott. And it looks like the gray 13 of Bob Eldred, Nick, is going to be possibly the free pass car in this caution as he heads around the pace car. And so does the 0 of Hayden Bushy as well. So maybe a couple of free passes here. We'll have to get that confirmed.
Yeah, we'll take a look at that. The leader at the line, I believe, was Kyle Goodboo. So he had taken the advantage over Jake Grout in the 49. So Goodboo's going to get the inside lane starting position here with Grout outside, and then it's going to be Richie Murray and Dylan Zulo. How about the run from Dylan Zulo today? He had a rough night to start out the year in the IACT Milk Bowl, missed last week, and tonight, perhaps the best run of his IACT career. He's been in this league since the inception of it and having probably his best run in the league here tonight.
And he kind of got his bacon saved earlier, Nick, because he was running second and third for most of the early stages of the race. But around lap 55 or 60, he just started sinking really fast. Was all the way back to 9th or 10th. Don't know if he blistered a tire or something on the 16. But a caution came out during that, allowed him to go to pit road, get a fresh set, and he has taken advantage of his second life and driven back up to the 4th position.
Yeah, we see Justin Prescott's making his way out of the pits as well as Eric Steele. Steele is multiple laps down. Prescott, I believe, is 2, maybe 4 laps down at this point. So those drivers, their days have not gone to plan. But the lights will go down this time by, I believe, yes, they will, on the IACT iRacing pace car. It's going to be Kyle Goodboo and Jake Grout getting ready to bring us back to green with 70 laps to go.
Can confirm, Nick, Caden Fisher, JJ Goodboo, Dave Weir all 2 laps down, Justin Prescott 4 laps down, but no cars are 1 lap down at this point, so they could still potentially get some free passes and get back into this depending on how things shake out. But the business at hand is at the front. 70 to go. The 17 of Goodboo chooses the inside. The 49 of Grout on the outside, and we are back underway.
The 78 of Lukey Shannon gets off to a miserable start on the outside lane. He is in the wall, sliding way back. Shannon's number 78 car here goes down to the inside, and he's going to disconnect here, it looks like. So Shannon's damage on that 78 machine, too much to overcome as the fight for the lead continues. Grout on the top and Goodboo on the inside.
Grout has what has been the preferred line for much of this race, but the 17 of Goodboo with the fresher set of tires, and we know a very fast race car, and he leads it by a nose to strike. Richie Murray in third, and the 72 of Ryan Kuhn. What a shock back into in the fourth spot, right behind him, the point leader, Casey Beatty.
Yeah, Casey Beatty works his way into the top 5, right behind Ryan Kuhn. And it's going to make it an interesting run to the finish here as this pay window starts to open. $150 to the winner of tonight's Throwback 200. And don't forget, fans, if you are watching on Facebook Live here tonight, we're going to have a throwback contest tomorrow on Facebook. Vote for whoever you thought had the best throwback. And the winner will get $25 courtesy of IACT. So keep an eye out and keep an eye out for that tomorrow on our Facebook page.
Top 4, 5 cars continuing to go at it. The 49 Jake Grout has tried to get back to the outside of the 17 Kyle Goodboo a couple of times. Nothing doing there though. Richie Murray now under attack. The 72 of Kuhn takes a look, but Murray able to shut the door on him. Kuhn settles back into fourth.
Yeah, Kuhn getting into the wall. We've seen a lot of guys just overdrive the corner exit and make contact with the wall. It's happened to a lot of drivers tonight. Hasn't really affected anybody too much. If you can limit the overall contact you make with that wall, you can keep yourself in relatively good spot. But you can see here, these guys get right close to that wall on their corner exit, and it can slow your pace momentarily at the very least.
It's one of those cases, Nick, where you're trying to get as close to the wall as you can as you mat it off the corner, but you dance with the edge. Sometimes you go over it. The 88 of Murray up the track, and here comes the 72 to the inside for the number 3 spot.
Ryan Kuhn down low, trying to pedal that bottom groove. Richie Murray, you saw a little bit of slight wall contact there, running that beautiful throwback to his grandfather's mini mod here tonight. Murray is going to assume the 4th position while Kuhn moves into a podium spot and now sets his sights on Jake Grout in car 49.
17 Goodboo though now pulling away. They're coming to 141 complete in the Throwback 200 presented by Fast One Motorsports. 2nd through 4th are no tail. They're all chasing Kyle Goodboo, who last year won a slew of late model races at the White Mountain Motorsports Park, trying to get it done here in the IACT Winter Warm-Up Series. Here comes Kuhn, though. The defending champion drops to the inside groove, looking for 2nd on Jake Grout.
A methodical run through the front, or run to the front from Ryan Kuhn as Grout gets into the outside wall and off of turn number 2. Kuhn on the inside. Will he clear him? Not quite. Grout will make the move back to the top, try to drive it in as deep as he can to hold on to the spot. But Kuhn, we talked about it earlier, Michael. It's a lot of your track position here as Grout gets way loose and slides up the racetrack. He's not only going to lose 2nd, he's going to lose 3rd too. Richie Murray slides by, but you can see Kuhn is able to get to the gas a lot sooner. Grout's car starting to struggle a little bit, and now he's dropped from 2nd to 4th in just a handful of laps.
Indeed. I'm pretty sure the 49 still has one more set of tires on the ground, as does the 45 of Beatty, the 88 of Murray, but they're going to need a chance to get to pit road, and with the field thin considerably from the start of the race, the field pretty well spaced out, there is no guarantee that another caution will come out. They've got to assume that they're not going to get that another chance and just do what they can with what they have.
Yeah, time is starting to run short here as we enter the final quadrant of this race, coming right up on 50 to go here. And a lot of these long distance races in IACT going back a few years, they'll run green. They'll run green for a lot of the second half, and it'll be a long green flag run to the checkered flag as the some of the drivers that were not having the best nights start to thin themselves out, and the field starts to whittle down to 10 to 15 cars. The race of attrition, and when there's less cars on the track, there's just simply less chance of a caution flag.
And then that's where your skill and your tire management and finding the right line start to come into play. And in the case of Kyle Goodboe, if he keeps up this pace, we'll probably encounter some lap traffic soon as well. Next time there'll be 50 laps to go. Kyle Goodboe trying to do what's very tough and just outrun the 72 of Ryan Kuhn here at the North Wilkesboro Speedway.
Yeah, it's gonna be a big challenge for Goodboe. He's a good driver and very good iRacer, but Ryan Kuhn, perhaps I mean he's a defending series champion. He's won the only race that he's been in so far this year. It's going to be interesting, and you got to remember, Goodboe not a championship contender this year. This is his first attempt running for himself. He ran for points for Kuhn last week at Thompson. Goodboe trying to go 1-for-1 in his 17 New Hampshire machine to kick off the year, but Kuhn knows that he's in a a point deficit after last week's DNF with Goodboe driving the car. So every spot is huge for Ryan Kuhn here, and he knows that there's a nice buffer for winning the race compared to finishing second or third. With Casey Beatty right now stuck back in fifth spot.
Indeed, it would be some sweet, delicious irony if Kyle Goodboe subbed for Ryan Kuhn last week and then beat him for the win this week. And that time around, Nick, Kyle Goodboe was about a tenth faster than Ryan Kuhn. Goodboe ran a 19.076, Kuhn a 19.184. So Kyle Goodboe is setting the pace here. Ryan Kuhn's either going to have to find a little more or hope that Kyle Goodboe wears himself out, although that time he did gain about 700s on him.
Yeah, an 06 to a 13 there. Kuhn with the advantage that lap. I mean, but the gap is a big one. It's a quite a ways back here. 1.3 seconds is the difference between Goodboe and Kuhn, and you're gonna have to beat you're gonna have to beat him by a lot more than that if you want to get up there and challenge if this thing is to go green.
Inside the cockpit now, Nick, with 72 of Ryan Kuhn. You can see he's being very smooth with that 72, even as we get into the later stages of this race, trying to preserve as much feel good in those tires as he can for a final run to the finish, while also not giving up too much ground. Times have stabilized a bit the last few laps. I mean, they do kind of go back and forth. One lap, Goodboe will be a touch faster. The next lap, Kuhn will be a hair faster, and it all just has been kind of evening out. And right now, Kuhn doesn't need to even out. He needs to make some hay.
Yeah, and that's an advantage for the 17. Even out means that he maintains that 1.4 now second lead over Kuhn. So Goodboe can maintain this lead here for the last 40 or so laps. He's got it made in the shade. He's just got to hope for no yellows.
Let's check in while we have a moment, Nick, with the 49 and the 45 as well. Your fourth and fifth place cars, Jake Grout and Casey Beatty. And we've talked about Ryan Kuhn's championship chances, but these are the top two in the points coming into the night. 45, Casey Beatty came into tonight with a 23-point advantage over the 49, Jake Grout. They both finished second in their heat, so the margin remained unchanged. Jake Grout maintaining one spot ahead of him, so would gain a couple points as they run at the very least with two events after this one. Grout doing a very admirable job at least keeping things interesting as we move into the last couple weeks of the season.
Yeah, that's so frustrating as a driver, right? Like Jake Grout right now in a position to finish fourth, and it's really not going to be any different. Like he's not going to gain a whole lot on Beatty if they finish like this. So very frustrating when you have a great day as a driver and it's just not good enough because the guy you're chasing is just running great laps and putting together great runs.
It can feel frustrating, but at the same time, you got to remember that is certainly better than losing ground. As we take a look on our screen, we see the 55 of JJ Goodbout past the 13. That is not for position. The 55 of Goodbout is a couple of laps down. Ty Delphia, though, is on the lead lap in the eighth position. So is the 70 of Brock Rouse in ninth spot. They're having solid runs as well. We are coming to 35 laps to go in this one, and nothing really has changed. The gap's still about 1.4 seconds, but you could see on your screen there, they're about one corner away from Kyle Goodbout catching a large pack of lapped traffic.
Yeah, and that's Ryan Kuhn's chance, right? Like if we're not going to have a caution here, his chance to catch the 17 is the 17 getting caught in lap traffic. Um, I mean, we've seen at this point, unless Kuhn's got a whole lot more in the tank that he's just not running right now, which with 33 laps to go, I doubt is the case. He's got to hope that the 17 gets caught up here, or there's a caution in some way, shape, or form. But there's 4 lap cars up here. Uh, this is going to be a significant challenge for the 17 at Goodbout. He's going to have to make his way through. And while the gap right now looks great over Kuhn, they're running identical lap times. It's 1.3 seconds. That can be erased really quickly if you have even one bad set of turns.
And you can see ahead of him as Goodbout goes to the inside. The 32 of Steel swings way wide, but he's got the 60 of Weir and the 18 of Caden Fisher. They've been side by side for several laps. And Kyle Goodbout has a little bit of ground to be patient, but he's also got to be thinking, one of you guys, please go. And he's going to split the middle heading into the turn.
Oh, that was tight. Weir almost caught him, but Goodbout with an aggressive move gets them both in one corner. Nice, nice move from Goodbout there. Almost had contact with the 60 of Weir, who's trying to let him go, and Goodbout took every inch of the pardon from the 60 machine. And now the pressure switches to Kuhn. Goodbout gets right through the traffic without issue. Now Kuhn has to do the same thing. He's got it down to 1.1 seconds, gained about 2/10 in that maneuver, but he's got to gain a lot more. And it looks like with the lap traffic split up a little bit here, it's going to be a much easier run for Ryan Kuhn. No aggressive maneuvers required from car number 72.
It does look like both the 60 and the 18 being multiple laps down just pulled aside there and said, guys, let the leaders sort it out there. And now as the 17 of Goodbout is going to get past the 13 of Eldred, the 13 of Eldred was on the lead lap, but does give way there. And the 7, oh, as he takes back to the inside, but nope, not gonna, just letting him know he's there. The 17 of Goodbout now has clear traffic once again, but his lead has shrunk to about a second over Ryan Kuhn.
Yeah, Kuhn gained a good amount through that. And you got to imagine at this point, coming in on 25 laps to go, Ryan Kuhn is giving it everything she's got. He is trying to gain as many points as possible here tonight, knows he's in a points deficit, knows it's if he knows how important each one of these races is. He really, really wants that $150 prize and the points that are going to come with it here as he moves underneath Eldred. But Goodbout, I mean, he's just been dominant all day long, but it's under a second now. Michael Kuhn is getting a little bit closer.
Ryan Kuhn came into tonight after last night's sub, fifth in the standings, 34 back of Casey Beatty. He would gain 6 points on him as they run in this feature, but it's a 7-point gap between first and second. That could be huge. If you remember last year, it ended up being decided the championship on a tiebreaker. Beatty and Kuhn finished with the same amount of points. Kuhn had more wins to give him the championship. So every point does count, and so does that sweet, sweet $150, which could pay for an entire year of iRacing.
Yeah, absolutely. As we continue to take a look at our 2 leaders right now, Kuhn trying to get in there. They're running just almost identical lap times. The lap cars helped Kuhn a little bit. He was about 3/10 of a second better than Goodbout through the lap cars. But now if they start to plateau here again with the lap times. As you see, Goodboo runs a 23, Kuhn a lot faster at a 12. Um, it's there, but Kuhn's really got to start hustling.
And the 17 of Goodboo also closing in on the 1 of Kyler Davis. Davis running in 10th after some scuffs and skiffles early in this one, but a lead lap car. We'll wonder how hard he fights to stay on the lead lap with coming to 20 laps to go in this one. Saw the 42, the 72, excuse me, just graze the wall as the 1 of Davis pulls aside and lets the leader go. We will go back to the roof cam now on the 72.
You see him taking this super low entry through the corner. This track there's a number of different ways to attack, especially turns 1 and 2. But Kuhn right now, he thinks that 72 is best with the tires right on the paint on the white line, and he's running good lap times with it. He's running almost 19 flats, which is really good for this time of race. Ran an 08 there to Goodboo's 19. I mean, Kuhn has turned it on here. There's no denying that. The lead's
So we
down to
have
about
our
a half
answer
second.
on
The 72.
Yeah,
He might have been saving.
Yeah, I think we have our answer now on whether he was saving anything. And now the question is, can the 17 counter? Was the 17 able to save anything during all that? Because we have got 18, going to be 17 laps to go at the line, and the 72 definitely has the 17 in the crosshairs.
Yeah, Goodboo just a hair faster that time. Lead is still about a half a second as you see Kuhn is getting a really deep drive into the corner right there, trying to gain as much time as he can. You see him right down on the paint. Goodboo has followed suit. Goodboo ran a 23 that time to Kuhn's 12. So they're still, Kuhn is just gaining ever so slightly here. But we are running out of laps, and Kuhn he's still got about 3-4 car lengths in order to make up this gap right now.
One lap car ahead of him as well, the 18 of Justin Prescott and the Russ Wheeler throwback. Prescott multiple laps down after some trouble early in this one. The 72 of Kuhn within a couple of car lengths now at the line. 14 laps to go in the Throwback 200, presented by Fast One Motorsports of Berlin, Vermont. And Ryan Kuhn is there, grazes the wall off turn 2, but keeps on plugging.
Yeah, he's been consistently about a tenth faster, or about a thousandth faster every single time. A 20 to a 16 right there. Kuhn's still a little bit better, but he's adding, these faster laps are just adding up over and over again. It's now a car length, and Kuhn this time is going to cut it to a half car length off of turn 4. He is close to that back bumper as we close in on 10 laps to go. It is going to be an interesting finish here. Kuhn now
Nick,
there. He is there.
What do they say, Nick? Catching him's one thing, passing him's another. And I'll be interested to see what Kuhn does, because he caught Goodboo running basically the same line. If Goodboo can hold on to that line, Kuhn's going to have to do something different to successfully get around him. And he heads to the outside, coming off of 2.
Kuhn to the top. There's going to be a side-by-side battle for the win in the Throwback 200. Kyle Goodboo on the inside, Ryan Kuhn on the outside. Can Kuhn pedal the 72 on the top as well as he could on the inside? Sources might say yes as he tops him on the outside. A car length out in front. Goodboo dives back down. They're coming back with 9 laps to go.
It's the 72 by a whisker at the line. You saw sparks flying from the car in turn 3 the last time. Goodboo clips the apron trying to get that car to turn, but it looks like the 72 has got it done. Yes, he has. Ryan Kuhn on the point at North Wilkesboro Speedway with 8 laps to go in this one.
Ryan Kuhn, what a drive from a second and a half back on Kyle Goodboo, the dominant car of the day. The 17 New Hampshire fading in the last 15 laps. Ryan Kuhn, the 2025 IACT champion, jumps at the opportunity and now starting to open up the advantage. They lap the 9 car of Ricker and Kuhn is driving off with an opportunity at his second win of the year and his second $150 payday in 3 weeks.
And Nick, we had to report an important development in the back of the pack too. While we were watching this, something happened to the 49 of Jake Grout, and he is now 2 laps down. He had been running in the fourth spot, but he has,
Wow.
whether he was on pit road involved in a spin, but now sitting in 11th, 2 laps back, a huge development in the championship chase.
Yeah, we talked about it, how frustrating it was to be in fourth. And you said, well, at least it's not as bad of a day. And now he's experiencing the bad day. Things going really bad here for Jake Grout. That's going to make it really tough for him to catch Casey Beatty in the point standings as we come closer and closer here. Just a handful of laps to go, 4 to go, coming to 3 laps to go.
Sorry, Jake. The announcer jinx happened again with 3 laps to go, and there is lapped traffic. The 16 of Zulo, who is your seventh place car, I believe, at this point, trying to hold on to the lead lap. Here comes Q to the inside. The 17 of Goodboot trying to take advantage and head to the outside
Open the
again.
door. He opened the door for him. Goodboot to the top. Has the opportunity now. Kuhn is there. Will Goodboot use a bumper to take the lead? He's going to try the outside, but he's going to slide those tires. Kuhn opens the lead back up. We are coming to the white flag in the Throwback 200.
One more time around for Ryan Kuhn. Kyle Goodboot giving it everything he has. Lapped car dead ahead. They go to the back straightaway. The 72 of Kuhn, the 17 of Goodboot. Goodboot bails it into turn number 3, but here they come to the line. Second win of the season. Ryan Kuhn takes the Throwback 200.
What a fight to the finish. A long green flag run decides it. Kyle Goodboo is the dominant car, but Ryan Kuhn saved just enough for the closing laps. And for the second time in 3 weeks, Ryan Kuhn defends his IACT championship with a trip to victory lane. What a race that was.
Kuhn celebrating. Goodboot second. The 88, excuse me, Richie Murray third, and Brock Rouse ends up in fourth. Casey Beatty ends up way back in fifth. So I don't know if our replay team can take a look and see if they can figure out what happened, but maybe there was an incident, Nick, between the 49 and the 45 fighting for that fourth spot, which affected the outcome not just for them but for the championship as well. We'll get check back on that later, but the focus right now is on our top 3 here in the Throwback 200 presented by Fast One Sports. Ryan Kuhn runs down the 17 of Goodwood in the closing stages.
Yeah, he does. We will work on getting our top 3 in here. As we
We can see
look
our
at
replay team is working on trying to figure out what happened between the 49 and the 45, because clearly that was a major development while we were watching that great battle for the lead. But either way, we'll see if we can get our top 3 in here for some winners interviews in what turned out to be a very exciting Throwback 200 at the virtual North Wilkesboro Speedway.
Yeah, absolutely. As we get our top 3 into our broadcast booth here, and we'll start with the race winner, Ryan Kuhn. Ryan, this race wasn't always going your way. In fact, there was a point around the halfway point where you looked like you dropped anchor and were heading for the back, but you were able to save tires just enough in order to make a move on the 17 in the last 10 laps. Tell us how you did it.
Yeah, I mean, started the race. I got the EOL, got caught up in that early wreck, and just try to get all my damage fixed as early as possible. Um, and just kind of got trapped there around like lap, what was it, like 60, 70, and it's just kind of that's kind of just cruise control. That happens. You just kind of got backed up, lost 5 or 6 spots. We were up to I think eighth or something, like dropped back to like 13th, but um, I just had to be patient. I knew we'd get our time to get to the front. Just nurse it there. There's no need to be aggressive, and Um, just tried to use as much racecraft as I could to just put myself in the best position. And I pitted the first time around. I realized my tires were a lot better than I thought they were, so I didn't actually put tires on. I just rolled back out of the pits and just managed the best I could with the old tires, and got that late race yellow and got that fresh set of right sides and drove back to the front and just kind of maintained a little bit, tried to save a little bit more than Good Bout did, and I was just kind of logging laps at that point, getting in a rhythm, and about 30, 25 to go, it was time to go, and we were able to run them down. And I kind of figured their track was rubbing up enough that the outside would work, so and it did. So it was a hell of a race. I hope everybody watching enjoyed it.
Now, second win of the season, Ryan, and you talked about, trying to set up for the last run. I mean, how do you approach that as a driver, deciding whether to set it up for the last run, whether you just hope for a caution? I mean, what is the racecraft involved in there in trying to set yourself up for that final sprint?
Yeah, the goal was just don't overdrive the car, don't overstep it. Every little bit counts in this car. That's what I tell, especially all my RKM guys. Just every little bit matters. You slide that right rear tire once, you gotta you're kind of screwed. That's what I tell people. But um, it's just finesse. And this, I tell everybody, this is the easiest and hardest car to drive. It is the easiest car to drive, stability wise, but is the hardest car to be fast in, and for a long time. So it was just about logging laps, finding good bout, kept that 1.2 to 1.4 second gap. Just trying to keep the thing as smooth as I could. And about 25 to go, I said it's time to go, and picked it up a little bit and was just able to inch on in a little bit, um, and was able to get him on the outside. But it was really clean race. The whole race was a lot cleaner than it's been in the last couple of weeks, and big props to admins and the drivers for stepping it up.
Hey Ryan, before we let you go here and go off and celebrate your second win of the year, tell us about your throwback that you ran today.
Yeah, this is an old ADAP Auto Parts design car. My dad was sponsored by ADAP Auto Parts before they got bought out by Advanced Auto Parts. Um, it's just a tribute to him, and beautiful car designed by Justin Brooks Designs, and um, just thankful to run this design. And it's one badass looking car. So I hope maybe I'll have a shot to win the paint scheme award, but you never know. A lot of good paint schemes out here.
Well, it looked great. Congratulations. Win number 2 of the season for Ryan Kuhn, defending his championship here very nicely. Congratulations, Ryan. On to our second place finisher now, Kyle Goodboo. Kyle, man, you dominated this race. Led probably, if I had to guess, 150 or more laps of this thing. And in the last 10 laps, you come up just short. But a good run for you nonetheless here today.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Definitely didn't take as much fuel as I should have in that last pit stop, and I was just pretty tight that last run all along. Felt like I saved enough tire, and yeah, we just weren't good. But at the end of the day, it was a good run, so can't really complain too much.
So take us from your perspective through those last 20, 25 laps. So you know the 72 is coming, and you're doing your best to keep pace with it and hold them off.
Yeah, those last 20 laps or so, I could some lap traffic. A lot of them helped out, but some of them didn't. And then I could see Ryan catching me, and I knew I was tight, and he's telling me he's like perfect. So I had tried to find some grip, whether it been the third lane or on the apron, trying to get to turn, and I just I just couldn't hold him off for 3 extra laps or 4, whatever I had to hold him off for. And I thought I was gonna make a good run with that one lap car with like 2 to go, I think, but yeah, I don't think there's much of a second groove there for me at least.
Yeah, it looks like you had the run going, but then you got the tires up there and it just got away from you. But great run nonetheless. And your throwback, a lot of people are going to recognize that are longtime fans of ACT. But tell us about it.
Yeah, Wayne was one of my favorite drivers growing up, so I figured one, it was a simple one to do, and yeah, he does race still, I do believe, but it's more pro stock stuff. So yeah, it's less ACT, so I figured it's be a good throwback to do.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on your second place run, and We will see you next week. On to third place tonight, Richie Murray. And Richie, when this day started, we were thinking that it might be another uh, come from behind day for you. You failed to qualify last week. You draw the last row of the heat race, and you were fighting like hell for the transfer spot there in the heat. And then we look up 20 laps into the feature, and you are inside the top 10. Take us through your day here.
Oh yeah, qualifying heat races and just getting into the race in general. Not they haven't been friendly to me the last couple weeks. Um, but luckily, I was this week we were able to actually get into the race. And once you're in, it's all about just managing your tires and making sure you keep a car underneath you and saving the tires for a long run. And this a little bit of pit strategy came in here, and that was kind of interesting. Glad I chose the right side of that strategy and able to come out to a P3.
Yeah, and that's one I wanted to ask about, Richie. You were pretty solidly in the top 10 when that caution came out around lap 70. A lot of the leaders pitted, but you were one of the ones who decided to stay out. Why did you think that was the right call for you in that position?
So clearly it was a gamble because nobody could make it on fuel the entire race. But I was thinking along the lines of everyone has two sets of tires. If people pit on lap 75, they're going to have to want to pit on around lap 140, lap 50 again. If I wait until after lap 100, ideally lap 120, then I can take tires on lap 120 and just have 70, 80 lap tires just to go the rest of the distance. And that's exactly what happened.
Well, it was a great strategy. It worked out for you, and I'm sure you're. We're happy to see you back on the podium, and I'm sure you're happier than us to be back on the podium after
Oh yeah.
the way last week went. So, congratulations, and your throwback. I think takes the cake is the personal favorite for me. But tell us about your throwback scheme here. You got the Nerf bars and everything on this thing.
So this is my grandfather's mini modified that won a track championship in 1986. This car actually still exists. We restored it. How many years ago was this? 15 years ago we restored it. I was young when this happened. But yeah, no, this is a VW Bug. So the rear bumper, the engine is in the rear. So the rear bumper, I put the motor on the back bumper of this thing just to try to recreate that. This was fun to make. I'm gonna like um I did not realize we were doing a throwback paint scheme contest until it was posted on Facebook. So I got to work right then and there. Um, yeah, this was a lot of fun to make. Look at through all the old pictures and like just making it as true to a mini modified as I could on a flat fender late model. This was cool.
Well, that's awesome. It looks great. Great work on that. And that's funny. You got it together just in the nick of time. So,
Yeah,
congratulations. And the throwback looks great. And we'll see you
thank you.
next week.
See you next week.
All right, Michael. As we saw Justin Prescott crash our victory lane, much like Ryan Preece yesterday at the Daytona 500 by crossing the finish line backwards. Let's take a look at where we're going next week for IACT.
How about Nick? Nick, how about first we take our look through the top 10, just quickly go back to something because we had been talking about Jake Grout falling out to 11th, and kudos to our replay man for finding some replays there and showing that Jake Grout ended up coming to pit road on his own. And Kyle Goodboom mentioned that felt he didn't take enough fuel on his last pit stop and change the handling. And we're hearing word that the 49 may have just run out of gas, and which is why he had
Yeah.
to come to pit road. Which we're looking at the replay, then you see him just come to pit road of his own accord, whether a splash of fuel or something. But either way, a heartbreaking end to the day for the guy who came in number 2 in points. Jake Grout dropped him all the way to 11th in the final rundown. And Nick, we will give everyone the unofficial top 10 as they finished here. You heard from our top 3, Ryan Kuhn, Kyle Goodboom, and Richie Murray. Let's give a call to Brock Rouse, Nick, because
Yeah.
he finished
What a
4th
day.
today. That is by far his best ever effort with IACT. Coming from 17th, stayed out of trouble, had a good car towards the end, overtakes Casey Beatty, who clearly had something going miss in the late going, but the point leader still holds on to 5th. Rest of your top 10, Ty Delphia, Dylan Zulo, Jason Ricker, Kyler Davis, and Bob Eldred. in the Throwback 200 presented by Fast One Motorsports.
Yeah, great night of racing here in race number 3, the halfway point of the IACT season. And we'll take a look now at our schedule here as we get ready to go to next week's race. And Michael, if you enjoyed the 200 laps here tonight, we're gonna do it all over again next week.
Indeed, the SoBo Shootout 200, it's become a regular event on the GossCars.com IACT schedule. 200 laps around the South Boston Speedway, the virtual speedway of Virginia. It's a little shorter track, about 4/10 of a mile. Kind of a nice balance between the bullring style track and the more wide open track like a North Wilkesboro. Always a great time. Qualifying is going to begin at 7:30 p.m. So we hope you'll be watching us on YouTube and Facebook Live next Monday, February 23rd.
Yep, and just 2 races left now for the IACT season. So we'll calculate the points up here and get them out for next week's race. But points are going to be a big factor going into the Sobo Shootout, and I'm sure strategy will as well. So once again, congratulations to Ryan Kuhn on his win, his second win in 3 races this season on the IACT schedule. And we will see everybody next week at Sobo for the Sobo Shootout. But for now, for all of the IACT staff, Matt Smith running the production, Michael Stridsberg with me in the virtual broadcast booth. I am Nick Mumley signing off from North Wilkesboro Speedway. Have a good night, everybody.